Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is all about the basic principles of ethical practice. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification buttons for more updates. Now, let's proceed. Basic principles of ethical practice. Research ethics. Scientific writing can be a complex and arduous process, for it simultaneously demands the clarity and conciseness, two elements that often clash with each other. In the same concept paper, Roy 2002 further mentions the general principle underlying ethical writing, the notion that the written work of an author, be it a manuscript for a magazine or scientific journal, a research paper submitted for a course, or a grant proposal submitted to a funding agency, represents an implicit contract between the author of the work and its readers. Ethical writing is clear, accurate, fair, and honest, as mentioned by Collin 2002. There are basic principles of ethical practice. The University of Leicester enumerated basic principles of ethical research practice. Knowing what constitutes ethical research is important for all people who conducted research projects or use and apply the result from research findings. The first one is obtain informed consent from participant. That's the first basic principles of ethical practice. Informed consent must be given to the research participants before they will be subjected for the research. In the case of minors, parents or guardian must be aware of the said activity. That's why they should be given a parent consent form, and also an assent form you should be given to the minors. For native speakers, informed consent may be translated in their dialect. Number two, there should be no pressure on individuals to participate. Incentives to take part should generally not be provided. If an incentive is used, it needs to be only a token and not enough to encourage someone to participate who would really prefer not to take part. Next, respect individual autonomy. Autonomy means the freedom to decide what to do. Even when someone has signed a consent form, they must be made aware that they are free to withdraw from the study at any time without giving any reason. They must also be to request that the data they have given be removed from the study. Next, avoid causing harm. The duty of the researcher is not to cause harm. The researcher must make sure that the principle of voluntary participation is observed in situations where there is interaction with subjects. Maintain anonymity and confidentiality. Making data anonymous means removing the contributor's name. However, you will often need to take more than this basic step to protect a participant's identity. Other information can help to identify people, for example, the job title, the age, the gender, the length of service, membership in clubs, and strongly expressed opinions. The more pieces of information that are presented together, the easier it is to identify someone. And lastly, take particular care in research with vulnerable groups. Think about vulnerability in its widest sense. Care is clearly needed in research with young children and with people with disability or minors. However, others may be vulnerable in certain contexts. For example, students, employees, dependents, or people with particular traits that could be subject to prejudice. So those are the different basic principles of ethical practice. Now let's talk about plagiarism. Plagiarism, it is most widely recognized uh, and one of the most serious violation of the contract between the reader and the writer. Plagiarism is the using of someone else's words or ideas and passing them off as your own. It can happen accidentally. For example, if you are careless if in your note taking, you are committing plagiarism. This can mean that you get mixed up over what is the exact quote and what you have written in your own words, or over what was an idea of your own that you jotted down, or an idea from some text. Research is a public trust that must be ethically conducted and so trustworthy and socially responsible if the results are to be valid and reliable. Roig 2002 states that plagiarism has been traditionally defined as the taking of words, images, ideas, etc. from the author and presenting them on one's own. It is often associated with phrases such as kidnapping of words, kidnapping of ideas, fraud, and literary theft. Plagiarism can manifest itself in a variety of ways, and it is not just confined to student papers or published articles or books. Plagiarism can take many forms. There are two major types in scholarly writing: plagiarism of ideas and plagiarism of text. Responsible authorship practices are an important part of research. Plagiarism of ideas is appropriating an idea, example, explanation, theory, conclusion, hypothesis, or metaphor, in a whole or in a part, or with superficial modification without giving credit to its originator. Plagiarism is the appropriation of another person's ideas, processes, results, or words without giving appropriate credits, including those obtained through confidential reviews of others' research proposals and manuscript. So that's all about plagiarism, and thank you for your listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button for more updates. And our next topic for this video is the ethical consideration of research writing. With that, thank you very much for your listening. Bye!